How's it going, everybody? Landon with the Truck Boss Show. Thank you so much for joining us this week. As always, next to the awesome Isela.
Hola, muchachos.
Isela, we got a pretty exciting show. A couple segments
right.
that you're going to be enjoying for sure. One talking about pre-trip inspections, big deal. Lead mechanic leads the way with some good training at the same time. We're going to dive into an awesome story of a gentleman named Tony,
Yes.
our friend Tony.
He's a really good friend of ours.
Exciting story of how he actually launched his company and was successful, especially that first year. So really intriguing and inspirational.
It is. It is. So I hope that everybody enjoys that too, just as well as we did.
They will. But before we get to those segments, we have a couple headlines. As you know, here at the Truck Boss Show, we want to bring some latest news your way, things that are catching the headlines as well as on social media, going viral. And this weekend, we have the Super Bowl.
Are you ready for that?
Dude, I'm pumped. I'm totally.
I'm excited. I don't know. I'm not sure what team to go for, but then again, I don't have a specific.
You just want a good game. I just want a good game.
I do. The Super Bowl's always fun.
I want to come down to the last 62-yard field goal, who wins, because that's what I want. And also some good beer and wings. I ain't going to lie.
Hey, that's the good stuff at a football game. Always.
That's right. But you came across something interesting about the Super Bowl.
I did. So speaking of the NFL battle of the New England Patriots and the Los Angeles Rams in Super Bowl 53 is scheduled, of course, this Sunday. It's going to be taking place at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium downtown Atlanta. Well, of course, the Department of Transportation at Georgia expects some heavy traffic this weekend, and because of that, the Georgia DOT is restricting construction-related lane closures to ease Super Bowl 53 traffic congestions in and around the metro Atlanta. So these restrictions actually began January the 25th and are scheduled until 5 a.m. February the 5th.
That's right.
So that's going to be a long, long time. But Landon, I know that a lot of people are going to be heading out there to the Super Bowl, and it's going to be super, super, super busy. Now, let me tell you that where they are not going to be having any closures.
This is important. This is really important.
It is. There will be no lane closures on projects inside the perimeter and the following areas. So pay attention. I-285, I-85 between Commerce and Atlanta, I-985 between Gainesville and Atlanta, and I-75 from South Marietta Parkway to I-85. Now, if you plan on driving to the Super Bowl, you want to plan your trip accordingly. For further information, you guys can call or using the Georgia app found, which is at 511ga.org.
That's right.
So let's get ready for this.
No, this is huge. I mean, if you're driving through this area and you're having to work over the weekend, can't catch the game, you need to know where the best, most efficient way to travel is so you can get the most for your load that you're hauling. Not get caught up in the Atlanta traffic, which is going to be busy.
It's going to be super busy.
Right. So the next topic, and I will say this real quick, we're going to drop this information in the comment thread so you can plan accordingly. So be looking for that. The next topic, black smoke matters. Have you heard of it?
Yes, I have actually came across that on one
It's a growing, strong, I wouldn't say organization, it's definitely a group on Facebook right now. And what's crazy is that they actually, instead of just getting prepared for April 12th, which is the national shutdown day, is they started this past weekend with a slow roll. And what's interesting about this is that drivers literally on the road are filming the long line of trucks behind them and the impact, drone videos, people on bridges supporting the cause of Black Smoke Matters and bringing attention to the challenges they believe they face in the industry. And so when you get an opportunity, go check this out. Very interesting, and what's neat is here at the Truck Boss Show, we're actually, Isela, going to start diving even deeper when it comes to meeting with the founders of the group, the issues that are coming. And so we have some special inside edition, some special segments that we're going to be launching in the coming weeks, so you definitely want to check that out.
Yes, it's going to be very interesting. I think very important for a lot of the people who still don't have a clear understanding of what it stands for, what it is going to. So we're just going to give them a better understanding, in which is, I think it's a good idea.
Absolutely.
So people know what's going on.
Absolutely. So we definitely want to make sure that we get into the issues, the solutions, and when it comes to their proposed solutions, learn more about the group and its structure and bring that to you so we can report and you decide when it comes to what's happening with Black Smoke Matter. So moving on to the awesome segments, Isela.
Yes.
I'm pumped about this because we had an opportunity to meet with our friend Tony when it came to his story.
That's right, Landon. I had the opportunity to sit down with our friend Tony with CH&W Commercial Tires. He told us a story that he doesn't really talk about much, how he grew up, his obstacles that he's overcome, his passion for the industry, and how successful his company is today. So check this video out. Hola muchachos, Isela here with the Truck Boss Show. We are here with our friend Tony with CH&W. Of course, many of you may know he is our go-to guy. He is our pro when it comes to tires. If we have issues, any questions that we can think of, Tony's a guy. Tony, How are you?
Good. How about you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for being with us today. But we're going to change it up a little bit. We're not going to talk tires. You know, we're going to go a little bit back in time on how, maybe you might not know, we know, but Tony is also a driver. Now, Tony, let's go back to when it all started. What made you go into trucking?
It's about 2000. I worked at a factory for 16 years, and my son went off to college, and it was time for me. I was ready for a change. Had a friend of mine that delivered some stuff to me. I did a little side work with a tractor, and he found me a truck, called me and said, hey, I found you a truck. And probably 2 months later, I was in a truck driving.
But was this something that maybe when you were younger thought, I'm going to give it a shot one day? Or is it just the opportunity came about and you went ahead and then just took it?
Always, even from a little kid, always liked trucks. I've been around trucks my whole life. So my dad was a diesel mechanic.
So you've been around?
So I've been around trucks my whole life. As far as driving, getting in and driving was about 2000 when I started. So
how has your journey been from when you started till now? I mean, I know there's a lot of I would say you go through ups and downs.
A lot of ups and downs in trucking.
How has that been for you?
It's been good. I mean, there's been the ups, there's been the downs. I owned my own truck and drove for about 5 years. Purchased my second one, had it. A good friend of mine, the guy that actually found the truck for me, he actually come to work for me and drove the second truck. From then to now, we have 9 semis.
Oh wow! So you grew.
We grew. Yeah. In 18 years, we're up to 9 semis. We stay pretty busy. We haul rock, sand, gravel, frac sand, that kind of stuff, just inside Oklahoma. But we do a lot of trucking.
So now, with having the ups and downs, what kind of advice do you give someone who is in the industry now, or is thinking of joining? What would be, I guess, an advice that you would say to them? This is a way to go by it. Because I know, like, if you think about it, I know you've had your struggles here and there. If you could change anything of it, though, you know, there's 2 questions that I'm throwing at you right now. But one is, you know, what would you change? If you could go back, what would you do differently?
What would I do differently? I would probably grow my company a little faster than I did. You get into a point where you have too many trucks but not enough trucks. That's kind of a hard thing to describe, but you kind of get on that bubble where it's either all in or nothing. You have to get to that point, and I kind of held back a little longer than I should. Probably should have went all in and probably should have grown the company a little faster than I did. Trust your gut. I mean, when you think it's time to go, it's time to go. It's time to go.
Yeah. So now, going back to the first question that I was asking, now, what is the advice that you give our new drivers that are coming in 2019 in regards to the business? Like, how would you say, you know, anything that you could give them? I know advice is always helpful.
Yeah, I mean, get out there. A lot of it is, you know, try to get with a good company. I know it's hard when you're first getting started. You're just trying to get out there. You're just trying to get loads, anybody. Right. But really get to know who you're working for before you go to work for them. There's a lot of guys that get into this and they get into with a company that just doesn't pay real well. They're slow pay, and a company that's slow pay on a new company will really put you in a financial bind, and that is the biggest problem that you run into.
Right. So the struggle is real when it comes to trucking. It's a whole nother world. Well, Tony, I really do appreciate it. It's, you know, great to always know the history and how, you know, our stories of all our drivers. Of course, a big thanks to all our drivers that are out there. I don't think we thank you guys enough. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have what we have today. So big thanks to you, and Tony, thank you so much.
Thank you.
What an amazing story with our friend Tony. Landon, what did you think about that? I think being so young and then stepping into the industry, how he became a diesel mechanic, and then all of a sudden, you know, he's had his hardships.
Absolutely.
I think like
I know a lot of people watching today can relate to that story.
Yes.
That's what I love about our show, is that we have the opportunity to get out on site, on scene, and really get stories that you're not going to find anywhere else other than here at the Truck Boss Show. So great job. Big thank you to Tony. If you're ever in the Tecumseh area, stop by and see him at CH&W Tire.
He'll take care of you.
That's right. That's right. Moving on, though, we had an opportunity to meet with Rush Truck Center here in Oklahoma City, and I had the privilege of doing some life with our friend David, who is the lead mechanic of Rush. A huge operation there in Oklahoma City, and they have sites all over the nation, not just here in Oklahoma, obviously. But we wanted to talk about something very important that I know you have to face each and every day in the morning as well as in the evening, and that is pre-trip and post-trip inspection. And he walks through, literally hands-on, what he teaches his mechanics and other drivers with carriers across the nation, how he does a pre-trip inspection. So check this out. How's it going, everybody? Landon with Truck Boss Show. Thank you so much for joining me on this segment. I'm next to my friend David of Rush Truck Center. David, thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Man, we're excited to be able to talk about pre-trip inspection when it comes to DOT inspection guidelines that you're an expert at. We're going to tell exactly why. So, Dave, before we do that, tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been in trucking?
I got into the trucking industry back in July of 1999. Started with the waste industry, entry-level PM mechanic, went into a mechanic, became a maintenance supervisor, became a maintenance manager for many years.
That's awesome. So you've been in the industry for about 20 years. How long have you been here at Rush Truck Center in Oklahoma City?
I've been here about 6 months.
Fantastic. So new here, but not new in the industry.
New here, but not in the industry.
That's
yes, sir.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. So this segment's really important because I know we have a lot of new entrants that are watching, a lot of small fleets, a lot of independents in the trucking industry. And we're talking about a topic, that is extremely important, but many times overlooked.
On a morning basis.
Right.
Every morning when these drivers, they parked their truck, they know there was nothing making any noise, nothing was wrong, and they're going to assume the same thing, and they're going to go hop in the driver's seat and they're going to take off.
Right. How many of these do you think you've done in your career? Can you even think?
365 a year.
Wow, that's awesome. That is awesome. And I've just got to ask, because many people may not know about Rush Truck Center here in Oklahoma City. How many trucks do you think come in here on a weekly basis?
Oh, geez, I'd actually lie to you at any point.
Let's just say a bunch. If you could see what we see, and you see out in the parking lot, it's obvious you guys know what you're doing here at Rush Truck Center.
In Oklahoma, we use the word whole bunch.
Whole bunch.
There's a whole bunch come through here.
That is right.
I'd say probably over 20 a day.
Right.
At
awesome.
least.
That's fantastic. Before we dive into that again, I've got to ask you, for those who don't know about Rush Truck Center, what all do you offer here when it comes to services? I mean, you have a beautiful lot out front with great Peterbilts and new trucks.
Yes, sir.
But back here, this is where the magic happens.
This is where it happens. Actually, we offer everything from bumper to bumper.
Okay.
There's not a single thing that we don't offer to do to your vehicle, from a bumper to all the way to the other end of the bumper, paint and body, maintenance side of it.
Right.
Maintenance is anything that needs to be done.
Gotcha. That's awesome. Well, I got to tell you, with our experience here on the Truck Boss Show, with everybody that we've come across, from the service manager and Ryan with his team, they just do a fantastic job. Clean shop, professionals through and through. So let's dive right into it, David. We're talking pre-trip inspection. You're going to walk around this truck and literally show what needs to be done on a morning basis.
A pre-trip is misunderstood. You've got to get hands-on.
Gotcha.
You've really got to get in there and figure it out.
So I'm going to get out of the way a little bit, let you take over.
Yes, sir.
Walk right through it.
All right. Where we start at, when I first got started into this industry, an older man told me, he said, David, you always start on your left front corner and you always finish on your left front corner. It's verbatim. It's something you do every day. Every inspection you do, you're not going to miss anything. Everything's going to be the same thing day in, day out. So what we do is we like to put our hands on. We've got clean glass, nothing broken. We've got a front bumper, nothing cracked, nothing showing any kind of rust or anything like that. We know by a visual inspection that we're pretty much right on track. We grab a hold of our fenders and our hood. We give everything a good shake. We look everything down. Everything seems to be operational, okay? We look at our tires and our wheels. There's nothing running off of our lug nuts. In other words, a lot of times you'll see a rust stream or a dirt stream. It kind of indicates that you've got a loose lug nut or a loose wheel. These are things we want to look at and we want to make sure are safe. Give again everything a good shake. Your air cleaners, your lights, your mirrors, you're giving everything a good shake. You're inspecting it is what you're doing. This is a visual inspection. It's not like you're going to crawl underneath it and take nuts and bolts loose. It's a visual inspection. When you get back here, you're looking at your steps. You're giving everything a shake. You can also visually inspect your nuts and bolts, anything that's going to indicate rust or a dirt line that something's loose or broken. Always like to give everything a good little step. Again, we're going to do a shakedown. Doors open smooth. Peterbilt, you can't get no better than that. You're going to again come in here to your fuel tanks, your cabin sleeper. You know, I give everything, I get a hands-on. I make sure that whatever I'm looking at is good and solid for the operation out on our highways. Everything's good. Again, we're going to come down line here and we're going to look down our frame line. This is where you can see your nuts, bolts. Everything's good and solid. Nothing's going to fall off on us while we're going down the highway. Everything's tight and snug, looking good. Nothing wrong there. We have our tread plate. We use it to step on so we can get up here and look at our trailers and stuff while we're on it. It's a pretty important subject. You want to make sure that it's good and solid and it's not going to come loose. You got your hoses for your trailer. Everything's lined up, good position, no cracking. It's a brand new truck. I mean, you're not going to find anything wrong on it. But what you're looking for is you're looking for your air lines that are cracked, electrical lines, good solid connections. Nothing that's going to be out of place, nothing that's going to have dirt or rust lines on it. Again, you're giving things a good shakedown. Everything is in good operation. Your bolts along your frame line that's holding all your components in here, your suspension components, you want to make sure they're good. There's nothing loose. While you're here, you get a good look down in there. That's where you're going to be able to tell if you have a wheel seal leaking. For you, those of you that know somewhat of your brakes, you can actually do a visual inspection. You don't have to crawl in it. You can visualize it from right here. Of course, a vehicle like this, you want to make sure this stuff is secure. If it's not secure, it's going to cost you in the long run. That's why we do what we do. Everything's good, tight, snug, nothing loose. Make sure our connections are good, nothing's leaking. Our rear bumper, our lights are intact. Nothing looks like it's going to fall out going down the road on us. As we were looking at the back of the truck back here, we're checking our lights. We're going to check, make sure all of our lights are operational. Everything's got its function going on. Everything's tight, not going to fall off going down the road, of course. When you're talking about the back of your truck, this is a lot of places where people don't really walk. They just assume everything's okay. You're going to get full inspection of your differentials, your suspension, whether it's air or it's leaf, your brakes, your wheel seals. All that is fully visible from right back here. And after all we've talked about, a walk around is a visual inspection. So as we showed going down the other side, we didn't really need to go over and double take anything at all.
Right.
It's the same as we went down that side coming up this side.
I've got to ask a question, Dave, because you're doing a great job showing the back where the fifth wheel is, the back of the truck.
Yes,
what
sir.
are some tips when it comes to, most of the time, the truck's got a trailer on it. So it's a little bit difficult to get back there.
It is.
Any insight there?
Whatever you do, don't forget it. A lot of people think because the trailer's covering it up, nobody's going to see it. It's not that you're worried about somebody seeing it. It's worried about the vehicle that you're going to be in going down our highway with our families, our loved ones.
Exactly.
We want to make sure that we protect them as good as we can. You do the best you can do to try to get in around there.
Right.
There you can still maneuver. You don't have to dig in as close as what we did.
Right.
We were lucky, but if it's got a trailer on there, you can still get in there and look around a little bit. It's a visual inspection.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, you always said it's very important to finish where you started.
It is. So we're going to come across the front. Again, we're checking our fenders, our headlights, anything that has the potential to become loose and fall off. We've got a good looking bumper here. Lights are all in place. Everything's tight on it. We're going to end up right back where we started.
Absolutely. Well, David, I can't thank you enough for going
Yes,
through
sir.
that in detail.
Thank
we know
you.
that you enjoyed that. If you have any questions, throw it into the comment section. We'll definitely get those answers directly from the expert himself.
Well, and don't forget, here at Rush, we offer a full line of services. There's no better way to catch your product than with an A service, a B service, a DOT inspection.
Exactly.
These are things that we're hot and heavy on. We're going to perform a good service for you, and we're going to be able to look your vehicle over and see if there's anything out of place on it.
Absolutely. Guys, thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed this segment. We'll see you on the next Truck Bus Show.
Hope you enjoyed that opportunity to be able to pull back the curtains on a pre-trip inspection by a friend there, a lead mechanic, David himself, there at Rush Truck Center. Isela, always a big thank you to Rush. They're just so generous with allowing us to come on and grab some awesome stuff that we can bring to the show.
No, and a lot of good tips.
Exactly, exactly. As always, can't believe that we're finished with this week's show. I mean, it just goes by too quick.
It does, but it feels that way because we always have a lot of fun, Landon.
That is true.
So
yeah, you should see us off camera. It's crazy. Maybe we'll do a blooper series one day.
I think we should. We have plenty of those because we
Plenty.
do a lot.
And that's my fault. And our production team, they don't really like us. Let's just be honest.
Sometimes. Don't say
that's
that
true.
because,
But we always like to talk about what's coming up, and I'm pumped about this weekend. Where are we going?
we're going to Hollywood.
What's up? I mean, like special music coming behind you.
I see.
You feel the passion?
I feel it.
No, I'm pumped
I feel like
about
I'm already
this.
there.
I'm pumped about this. You got to make sure you look good and,
Get your hair done.
That's not what I'm saying.
Oh, well, make sure
I'm
you take plenty
representing the
hairspray.
truckers, you know what I'm saying? But in all seriousness, our friends, the Trucker, invited us to be a part of their show. Incredible show they put together every single week, and the people are amazing. Can't wait to actually be on their show, but at the same time, we're going to actually pull back the curtain of their show and bring it right here on the Truck Bus Show.
That's right. So you don't want to miss out.
That's exactly right. So exciting stuff coming up as always. 2019 is going to be incredible. And if you don't know why we do this,
Because you're the boss.